Look at the top corner of your phone screen right now. Is that little crescent moon icon glowing? If your phone has been on Do Not Disturb for the last month or the last year, most people in your life probably think you're just bad at texting or that you're perpetually busy. They might even call you distant or antisocial. But you and I both know that isn't the truth. You don't keep your phone silent because you're overwhelmed. You do it because you've turned your digital life into a one-way street, where you decide when the world gets to speak to you, rather than the other way around. This isn't just a setting on your device. It's a biological indicator of elite emotional self-sufficiency. You are what we call a digital ghost, while everyone else is a slave to the 9-to-5 social grind. You have quietly reclaimed your radical autonomy. Today we're going to decode why this weird habit actually makes you society's biggest threat. Welcome to MindUnlockx. We don't do motivation, and we definitely don't do surface-level advice. We are a sanctuary for the deep thinkers and the rare minds who want to understand the hidden architecture of their own behavior. To understand why your permanent do not disturb status is a sign of elite intelligence, we have to move past the social noise and dive straight into our first point: the death of social performance. The first thing we need to decode is the psychological shift that happens when you decide to silence the world permanently. Most people live in a state of constant social performance. Every time their phone buzzes, they feel a biological ping of urgency. They feel a pressure to react, to respond, and to maintain their social mirror. They are terrified that if they don't answer immediately, they will be seen as unimportant, or worse, unwanted. But the digital ghost has moved beyond this. If you keep your phone on D&D 24/7, you have effectively killed your need for social performance. You are likely someone who has reached the stage where you stop explaining yourself to others. You've realized that once you realize nobody cares, you win. Instead of being too available, which psychology says can actually lower your perceived value, you have embraced the rare trait of digital scarcity. We don't do motivation here because understanding the why is far more powerful than a hustle quote. The why here is neural efficiency. Your brain has recognized that the ping of a text message is a high-cost interruption to your internal flow. By staying in do not disturb mode, you are protecting your quiet mind. You aren't ignoring people. You are simply refusing to let their momentary impulses dictate your cognitive energy. This is a sign of a high-resolution mind that values deep work over surface-level chatter. You are no longer performing for the crowd. You are the director of your own attention. The second point is your inherent radical autonomy. Society is built on the idea that we must be accessible 24/7. This is the digital 9-to-5 grind, a constant expectation of availability that drains your peace. If you hate being told what to do, or if you feel a surge of irritation when you see a call me text without context, you possess rare autonomy traits. You are likely someone who has a unique portfolio career path, or who prefers the polymath advantage of working on your own terms. You don't view your phone as a tether to society. You view it as a tool that you control. This makes you society's biggest threat because you cannot be reached by the standard hooks of social manipulation. You have opted out of the novelty trap that keeps most people scrolling and reacting. Think about the psychology of people who never join trends. They are hard to influence because their internal compass is stronger than the external noise. By keeping your phone silent, you are creating a physical barrier between your mind and the world's demands. You are practicing hyper-independent habits that were likely forged in a childhood where you had to raise yourself. You learned early on that you are your own most reliable guardian, and you don't need a constant stream of digital validation to know your worth. You are a goal-oriented walker in a world of drifters, and you refuse to let a notification light slow you down. The third point focuses on the Sentinel Mind. For an introvert or a deep thinker, the internal world is a sanctuary, but that sanctuary is under constant siege by noisy people and digital distractions. If you keep your phone on D&D, you are building a digital fortress. You are practicing one of the 6 ways to protect your peace without cutting everyone off. You understand the psychology of people who see everything but stay silent. You aren't missing the messages. You are observing them from a distance. You are choosing when to engage. This is a form of defensive resilience. You may be someone who grew up too fast, or was the black sheep of your family, which gave you a high-resolution awareness of when your energy is being drained. By silencing your phone, you are effectively solving the environment before you enter it. You are the sentinel who scans for the exit and the quietest corner. You realize that you cannot achieve clarity in a noisy world. If you allow every random person to walk into your brain through your pocket, you aren't cutting everyone off out of malice. You are protecting the rarest kind of strength, your ability to stay calm and focused while the rest of the world is in a state of perpetual panic. You are the architect of your own silence. The fourth point is strategic energy allocation. A high-resolution mind sees the world in much more detail than the average person. You notice the silent signals and the hidden intentions behind every "hey, you" free text. Because you process so much data, your CPU can become easily overwhelmed if you don't manage the input. This is why you stay on Do Not Disturb. It is a biological necessity for superior neural efficiency. You have too many interests, and you feel like 10 lifetimes wouldn't be enough to do everything you want. You cannot afford to waste 30 minutes of deep thought on a 10-second notification. You are a polymath who needs long stretches of uninterrupted time to synthesize information and build your graveyard of unfinished projects, while society tells you to be a master of one and to be constantly networking. You are following the M-shaped future strategy. You are focusing on depth and versatility. Your phone being silent is your way of saying that your internal projects are more important than someone else's external whims. You have realized that when you stop apologizing for your lack of availability, you become unstoppable. You are ruthlessly prioritizing your own intellectual growth over social performance. The fifth point explores the link between your digital habits and traumatic intelligence. Many of us who prefer to be digital ghosts are people who had to survive alone or who were raised without applause. If you endured a lot in childhood, you probably developed rare traits of hyper-independence. You learn that solitude isn't a punishment, it's a defense. Your Do Not Disturb setting is a digital extension of your childhood sentinel position. You are the person who talks to yourself when alone and who loves staying at home. You find peace in your own company because you had to build a world for yourself when the one you were given was too noisy or unpredictable. This is why you don't feel the FOMO, fear of missing out, that drives everyone else. You have the psychology of people who choose to be alone. You aren't lonely. You are elite. You've already solved the problem of being alone, so you don't need a buzzing phone to remind you that you're alive. You are the black sheep who has turned their isolation into a superpower. Your silence is a sign that you have achieved radical independence, and you no longer need anyone to tell you that you are doing fine. The sixth point is the M-shaped future. We are moving into an era where focus is the rarest commodity. Most people have the attention span of a social media reel. They are too available, too connected, and too shallow. But the person who can stay in Do Not Disturb mode for years is a cross-modal thinker. You can dive deep into one topic, then pivot to another, all while maintaining a consistent internal frequency. You are the auditory profiler who can tell a person's mood just by the way they type, which is why you'd rather wait until you have the energy to decode their message properly. You aren't being lazy, you are being precise. You possess a high IQ habit of valuing the quality of your responses over the speed of your reactions. By keeping your phone silent, you are training your brain for elite cognitive stability. You are becoming impossible to manipulate because you are no longer responsive to the pings of the attention economy. You are building a unique portfolio of skills and thoughts that will make you indispensable in the future. While everyone else is lost in the static of their notifications, you are quietly building your own world. Finally, the seventh point, why you are society's biggest threat. A person who doesn't need anyone is a person who cannot be controlled. If you can go a week without checking your messages, you have broken the most powerful chain society has ever forged, the need for constant connection. You are the quietest person in the room that the world should fear. You don't participate in the 9-to-5 social grind. You don't follow trends. You don't seek applause. You are a digital ghost because you have achieved radical independence. You have realized that nobody cares about your response as much as you think they do. And in that realization, you found your freedom. Your phone on D&D is your declaration of independence. It says that your time, your peace, and your mind are yours alone. You are an elite sentinel who has mastered the art of being alone in a crowd. You possess the rarest kind of strength, the strength to be silent when everyone else is screaming for attention. So the next time you see that little crescent moon on your screen and feel a tiny flash of guilt for the 20 unread messages sitting in your inbox, I want you to take a deep breath and smile. You aren't bad at texting. You are practicing elite energy allocation. You are a sentinel protecting the sanctuary of your quiet mind. You aren't just ignoring the world, you are mastering it by refusing to let it master you. You are society's biggest threat because you are finally, truly free. If this description felt like it was written just for you, if you're a fellow digital ghost who finally feels understood, let me know in the comments. Do you find that staying on Do Not Disturb has changed the way you think? If you're tired of surface level advice and want to keep decoding the hidden psychology of your unique traits, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join our sanctuary here at MindUnlockx, where we find clarity in a noisy world. Thank you for watching and stay silent. It's your greatest strength.